By now you've seen the word substantive in your discussion post instructions, and you're probably wondering, what does it mean? Substantive means that we move beyond the good job and I agree posts and we go deeper into the material. Now, a few sentences that pat someone on the back or just quote back what they've said does not equal a substantive post. Substantive posts move us from the shallow end to the deep end of the pool. This allows us to test our application of skills and help us to learn to think more critically about the choices we're making. Our discussion question provides a forum for sharing viewpoints, knowledge and skills, and even opinions, which, by the way, opinions should always be supported with reference material. What is often invaluable in these forums is how everyone learns from each other. When students share their perspective with fellow learners, overall understanding of the material deepens. Now, the point of the discussion is not to throw together an essay and then make a quick post to your fellow classmates' post and then quit. The spirit of the discussion is tied to developing a deeper understanding of the subject material. When the discussion centers on lively topics, it's not unusual for students to read their classmates' posts, talk about them, and post multiple notes. Think about quality and frequency as you strike up a conversation with your fellow classmates. As you progress through the doctoral program, each step along the way should be preparing you for your dissertation. You should become familiar with the terminology that your professors are going to use. So let's start with scholarly writing. Scholarly writing, also known as academic writing, communicates original thought, whether through primary research or synthesis, that presents a unique perspective on previous research. Academic writing is clear, concise, focused, structured, and backed up by evidence. Its purpose is to aid the reader's understanding. It has a formal tone and style, but it's not complex and does not require the use of long sentences and complicated vocabulary. The most common purpose of academic writing is to explain some idea or research finding and to persuade the reader that your explanation or theory is the correct one. In doing so, you may need to describe an object, a place, or even an activity. APA formatting. What is it? APA format is the official and formal writing style of the California Intercontinental University. Let's begin with citations. Now, citations appear in the body of the text, and they're used to show where you got your information from. Now, this is important because it adds credibility to your paper and helps protect you against plagiarism. You should cite when you're directly quoting, summarizing, paraphrasing, or even using highly debatable materials. If you're stating word for word or direct quoting what someone else has said or written, you must put quotes around the words and you must give credit to the original author. Now, summarizing is when you read the text, you consider the main points, and then you provide a shorter version of what you've learned. And paraphrasing, now this is when you restate what the original author said in your own words and your own tone. References. Now, references appear at the end of a document and contain information that tells the reader where the supporting evidence used in your writing came from. Reference materials are of critical importance in establishing comparability and accuracy of analytical results between different locations and over time. Using reference material helps you to avoid plagiarism by making it clear which ideas are your own and which are someone else's. It also shows your understanding of the topic, and it gives supporting evidence for your ideas, arguments, and opinions. Now, one final note. Your paper must contain both cites and references. You must cite all information that comes from resources. The cite is a shorthand note that points the reader to the reference section, and the reference section provides the details needed to access the sourced materials. All APA references list entries containing four main components: author, date, title, and source, which can be a hyperlink. For more information on APA formatting and APA 7th edition, I would invite you to do a search for Purdue OWL in your search bar. Scholarly sources. The term scholarly typically means that the source has been peer reviewed, which is a lengthy editing and review process performed by scholars in a given field to check for quality and validity. Scholarly sources are typically written by experts in a particular field of study and are intended for use in support of conducting in-depth research, often containing specialized vocabulary and extensive references to sources. Now, scholarly sources help answer the so what question in academic writing and lay the foundation for discovering connections between variables, issues, or events. Books, conference publications, and academic journal articles, regardless of whether they're in print or electronic, are common types of scholarly materials which share the following characteristics. The authors are scholars or researchers with known affiliations and educational research credentials. Now, it's really important to use scholarly sources because of the level of authority and credibility evident as they contribute a great deal to the overall quality of your paper. While scholarly sources are preferred, popular sources can be appropriate for your research purposes, depending on your research question. But research assignments will often require you to consult primarily with scholarly materials. One final note: trade publications are not recommended for scholarly writing.